And when we think Phils and we think baseball, we
Skip
think...
will host it, I'm sure.
Was that? Skip
will host it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to host with Skip, your neighbor?
I'm good.
Okay.
Y'all just took my joy when you did
Well,
that.
I mean, your joy could be back now because it's baseball time.
I'm
and
good.
that means it's time to talk to Scott Franzke. Scott, how are you?
Hugh, it's a listen party.
Listen. Hey, we can do that too. You know what, Scott? We were talking this morning about play-by-play and how hard it is to do, and I was talking about how easy it is to listen to you and how you paint the pictures. I mean, I know you've heard me say this before, but it really is a pleasure listening to you when you do baseball, man, because it just makes it easier to visualize what's actually going on.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, now Scott, we got to make it ugly now. So what's going on with Bryce Harper, man? What's up with that?
I don't know, man. I just got here.
Poor Scott.
Hey, Scott, I was trying
took my coat off.
Hey, Scott, I was trying to figure out a way to, get to it and, give you a chance to get settled in.
Very
get
subtle,
it.
Hugh.
Yeah, I'm subtle like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah, well, yeah, you are pretty subtle. There's no doubt about it. Well, what do you want to know?
This obviously has been festering. He's been holding on to this for a while. Does this have the potential, in your guesstimation, to make it a difficult season moving forward?
I mean, I don't think so. I think Bryce got to this level. I mean, he uses whatever he uses for motivation, but I don't think it's ever really something he's outwardly let us know about. I mean, he's a really competitive guy. He's got some inner fire, but I don't think he's one that's going to get out there and let everybody know he's pinned something to his bulletin board, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's anything. Again, he's gonna pass or fail or succeed or fail based on obviously he's older every year, and that's a challenge for players, and you never know how players respond to that challenge. But, I think it's obvious it was something that he certainly took note of. I mean, so if he wants to use it as fuel or fire or whatever, then go for it. Let it burn. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. And hopefully
that's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Leads to a big season. Scott, Bryce is obviously going to be a huge story, and if he could bounce back and have a great year. The other story it feels like is brewing here as spring training is underway and the games will start are the young guys and how much they will contribute and how good they could be. And the three that are standing out, obviously Justin Crawford, who's going to get the shot to play center, Andrew Painter, who we've been waiting for a long time. Now that spot is there for him in the rotation. And at some point, maybe later on this season, maybe Aiden Miller. Scott, your thoughts on where all three are at as they all could have a role on the 2026 Phillies?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of them, they're in that spot where, obviously Justin is ahead of the other two. Not only in terms of development, I would guess, but also in terms of the spot clear for him. Long-term spot is clear for him if it's there for the taking. Everything they've said sounds like they're pretty well going to go with he's going to get every opportunity to win the job. Painter, obviously there's a spot there available, perhaps. You're down certainly a pretty good starter in Zach Wheeler, at least for, the start of the season. We don't know exactly how long that's going to turn out to be. He did not have a great year last year. We'll get to see him a lot in spring training. He'll get a lot of chances to show what he's all about and where he's at. Aiden Miller, I think, is one that, again, you're not, barring any injury, you're not in any rush necessarily to get him to the big leagues. But I do think that, Dave Dombrowski has said for years, and he said, it was Al Kaline who told him, he said, the really good ones, when they come fast. And there's going to be a certain tipping point where it's just obvious Aiden Miller has cleared another level and is ready to try the big leagues. So, again, that pathway for him to a spot in the lineup is not maybe there right now necessarily, but it may not be far around the corner.
Scott,
especially if other guys struggle.
Yeah. Scott, for you, who in your eyes has the best chance to make the biggest impact when you're talking about the young guys? Because it feels like we're going to be counting on them counting on them quite a bit. So who do you has the best chance to make the biggest impact?
Well, I guess initially, I mean, I haven't seen Justin Crawford play, so I would hesitate. I mean, obviously, he has a really good chance to make a big impact because the pathway is there for him to get a starting job. And be the everyday guy out there in center field. So there's definitely a pathway there. So that gives him some higher odds maybe than the other two. Andrew Painter, again, I think everybody knows what he was capable of. What was last year? What was it? Was it, regression? Was it, learning his way again? Does he not have the same stuff after, all the surgery and the rehab and all that? I don't know. Did he make the necessary adjustments coming out of last year? I think that remains to be seen. Obviously, this team needs, guys that are on base and guys that are going to, be on base for the top of the order. And I think Justin's got a big chance to be one of those guys. We'll see. We're going to see him. He's going to play a lot in spring training, so we're going to get a real good
it starts tomorrow. I can't wait. 107.
Yeah, we're going to get a real good look at him.
Yeah, that watch party or listen party. Hugh Douglas is ready for that. Scott, let's unpack a couple of the offseason moves and the new guys because they're going to play a big role in how good this team could be. Adolis Garcia in right field. Scott, it's interesting when you kind of look at his career and what he's been, and you could kind of look through either lens. You could say, wow, they got a guy that not that long ago was hitting 39 home runs and was a World Series hero for the Rangers and got MVP votes. And then the last 2 years, though, we got a guy that's got a 270 on base percentage. So it feels like he's a big X factor and wild card. Your thought on Garcia and what he might be able to be for the Phillies?
Yeah, I do think there's obviously some X factor there, and they're trying to buy low and see if they can turn him back around and turn him back into the right direction. It wasn't that long ago, as you said, that he had big numbers. I think it's way less of a reach than, say, Max Kepler last year. I think there's far more upside still there. He's going to be, whatever he does offensively, he's going to be an improvement defensively over what was there last year. And I think that is really going to, that can pay dividends every night, even when your bat isn't playing. That can pay real dividends, that defensive upgrade in right field. I don't know. Again, I think we'll see a lot of him. I think he's, obviously now had some time, a couple of weeks to really get into the lab with Kevin Long, and I know they got together and did some work in the off season as well, and we'll see what it looks like. He's a tremendous athlete. Again, great defender, apparently an unbelievable guy and teammate, and, we'll see what kind of upside is really there for him.
Scott Franzke with us here at Franzke Friday on the eve of the beginning of Philly spring training game. Scott, with this team, most of these players you've seen a lot over the years, so you just get to see them and get ready for April. But this bullpen is going to be different. There's a lot of new names out there. Matt Strama's out, and the Phillies obviously imported Brad Keller here on a 2-year deal. But I'm looking at some of the names, and it feels like you're going to have to get to know some of these guys over the next month or so before we see them. The bullpen, I heard Topper say yesterday, it's the best. He thinks it could be the best they've had here in the 8 years he's been within the organization. What's your thought on the bullpen and what they did and what this could look like this season?
Well, that would be something if it was the best pen in the 8 years he's been here. Obviously, you start from day one with Duran. That's obviously, number one. Instead of 2 months with him, you get 5 months with him. That's a big deal. Keller had a huge year, and it'll be interesting to see how he backs it up and what kind of a pitcher he's going to be. I think the Bolin kid is one that they're very intrigued by. Again, more of a swing guy right now, or long guy right now, but is a big dude, has big stuff, and they think maybe can develop into something more than just your seventh or eighth guy in the pen. Don't forget, you got Jose Alvarado, who basically last year was a complete wash, both because of the suspension and the injury. And hopefully he's in a good place mentally, physically, all of that. But that's another arm. That's like another off-season acquisition that they made. So I do think it has a chance to be really, really good. But, again, bullpens can be flighty sometimes, right? And we don't know. I feel really good about most of those guys. But, injuries, something goes haywire. We don't know. Somebody's forced into a role they're not accustomed to. Maybe they handle it, maybe they don't. So there's a lot that can go kind of sideways when you're talking about a bullpen. But I think the stuff, the inventory, the talent is there. It's just whether or not they, whether or not it all lines up the right way.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch and to see how this thing shakes out, and especially the last couple spots. All right, so Scott, we started the phone call with Hugh talking about, you doing the play-by-play and how he appreciates it. So we had to run the story by you, and you know Rod Lakin, our brand manager here, right? So, Scott, there's a story up in Boston, WEEI, they have the Red Sox games, and Ken Laird is their program director, their brand manager up there, and he's going to take on the role of doing a spring training game. Like, he's going from brand manager to doing a Red Sox spring training game on the radio. So I think you know Rod. Like, if Rod took your job for a day, how do you think he would do?
Ooh. I don't know.
You could be honest. You could be honest.
Yeah, you could be honest.
Yeah, tell us.
He'd be terrible.
I don't know. I mean, some people, they have some real hidden talent. And maybe if you give them the opportunity to shine, all of a sudden we'll see it.
What about Hugh? What if Hugh did it for a day?
Hugh, I don't know that would go well.
I appreciate that.
Hugh would be great. I think Hugh would be great fun to have in the booth one day.
Oh yeah, we should make this happen.
But you know what, Scott? And this is what I admire about you and what you do is because. And we talked about this morning, the ability to know when to let it breathe and when to jump in. That seems like that would be the absolute hardest part. Is that really hard to kind of grasp when you're doing baseball?
Well, I think when you start out, you definitely feel the need to talk all the time. Because you're generally, when we all start out, we're doing these games by ourselves. I know I did. And you do 140 minor league games talking to yourself every night. And quite frankly, I was really just talking to myself because nobody was listening. But I think it takes some time for most announcers, and I know it did for me, to just settle down. And I think part of that is personality, right? I mean, I can sit for long stretches of time and not say anything and be just totally comfortable with that. But I think if some guys feel the need to talk a lot or tell you what they know, then it can get really wordy and verbose. And I think that's tough on the radio, especially now. There's not as much time to fill.
Yeah.
With the way the pitch clock works nowadays in baseball, it used to be you'd have long stretches where you'd have to just kind of fill time, and so I think there was some more nuance there. Now you don't have a lot of time, and that's what I worry about for you. Is that you be searching for that perfect word that you do that sometimes,
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and you'd be searching for it, and meanwhile, here's ball one, here's strike one, there's a swing and a drive in the left, and you still are looking for the word.
Yeah,
so that'd be the thing I'd worry about with you.
That would definitely happen, Scott, because I'll be stuck, and it would take me a while, and people that are listening to it would say, "Get him out of here."
This guy.
And the ambiguity. Thanks a lot, Kyle.
Right.
Appreciate that.
Exactly. I knew Kyle had a drop.
Yeah. Got about 1 billion of them.
I knew he would have one to back that story up. But I mean, honestly, we joke about it. It's one of the reasons I've always declined. I mean, there are rare instances where we put people on the air with us. And one of the reasons we don't do that, I mean, people come through the ballpark all the time, celebrities or, somebody who's promoting something, this, that, and the other. And I've always been pretty steadfast in saying we have to keep that in the pregame show. Totally fine doing it. But because what happens is, I remember years ago, we're doing a thing, and Tommy Lasorda used to come on, and he would, every year in June, when they do the prostate cancer promotion, and they're raising money for cancer research, and he would come on the air, and he would just talk. He would start telling a story. He would just talk and talk and talk, and you could never explain to the listener what was happening in the game. And while you can do that over on TV and just keep talking, you can't do that on the radio. You got to keep, as you say, painting the picture. So we got to, tighten up your language a little bit.
Yeah, tighten that thing up.
but just tighten it up, man. But after that, I think you'll be good to go.
Yeah, I got to tighten it up. That'll be my biggest hurdle.
Oh, yeah. It'll be fun. Scott, we appreciate you hopping on. Hope the offseason was great, and we're excited to hear you and get baseball rolling again on WIP. Thank you, Scott.
Have a good one, Scott.
Ambiguity.
Yeah, there it is. Ambiguity.
You got it. There we go. Scott Franzke, the voice of the Phillies. All right. So I wasn't kidding. That the brand manager up in Boston, he's going to call a Red Sox game, and maybe he'll do great. So it made me think, like, what if Rod called a Phillies game?
I think he could do it.
No, come
I think
Blue Jeans?
I think he could do it. Because he likes to talk. He loves baseball. He loves baseball.
But a lot of us love
different
baseball.
animal, man.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us love baseball. We can't all do play-by-play on the radio.
Yeah,
different discipline.
I think it would probably. It would probably initially be a little tough, but then he'll warm up to it. Yeah, I think he could do it.
Speaking of tough,
I think he'd be brutal.
Yeah. So, Hugh, I think this was before you got back to WIP. Jack Keffer, listeners might remember the name. He was our assistant brand manager at one point. I think this was when Spike was in charge and then Jack was under him. Jack, he was also a play-by-play guy for baseball, and he actually left here to go do play-by-play, I think, in the St. Louis Cardinals system.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you ever heard this, but this is what I mean by, like, it's not easy to go from brand manager or assistant brand manager to just doing play-by-play, in high-level baseball. Let's take a listen to this call.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on and drilled. Into left center field. Kiss it goodbye. As this one hits the wall. 2 runs will score. Trevor Crayport, another double.
Well, I mean,
Kiss it goodbye. As this one hits the wall.
Yeah, that
just be honest. He butchered it.
Oh, yeah,
he killed it. I mean, he destroyed the call.
Yeah, and the worst thing about that is when it's not a home run and you call one, you got to pull that back.
Well, and he went all in with the kiss it goddbye. Like, he had that line.
You know what that was?
And drilled. Kiss it goodbye.
And you know what I think that was?
Off the wall.
He workshopped that call. Because, some people like to have that signature call when it goes out the park.
Yeah.
So he thought that was his moment to shine.
And
it wasn't. It wasn't.